already here to obviously see to it that he gets us to where, or he sets the mood right. So smash the like button, comment and share, and this is Rokani David into the mix. Now we are obviously discussing Bukayo Saka, hot to trot Fulham, meaning that he's ready to start and obviously torment the side of Fulham. And these words were said by the manager of Arsenal yesterday when he obviously went ahead to hold the pre-match press conference. In his words, this is what he said. He was asked on if Bukayo Saka is available. He said Bukayo is ready to go, all right. And he was asked on how Arsenal can have to manage Bukayo Saka's minutes. The manager said, all the careful things he's already done. So now it's about putting him in the grass in the right moments. But he's pushing because he really wants it. We have respected the time frame. We have done everything, and we have had to hold him back. So he's ready to go. Then he was asked on if he could start. Arteta said yes. Then on how much an impact he might have on his return, Arteta said, yes, it's another massive weapon that we have with him. We know the impact and he's had on the team and how important his role and his contribution to Arsenal's success. So great to have him back, obviously. That's what the manager really went ahead, obviously, say onto this guy known as Bukayo Saka and his return to the club of Arsenal, and he's really doing the best of the best to see to it that all goes on well as planned. And after that, he was asked on one player. He was asked on a player called Calafiori, and Timber said Ricardo unfortunately picked up an injury again with the national team. Really unfortunate the way it happened. It could have been much worse. So hopefully it's going to be a matter of weeks, but he will have to see how that injury evolves. And Jurriën Timber was ill for a long period, quite badly. He's felt much better in the last few days, so he's really available. That's what the manager really had to say. Then, before we obviously get into the team news of other team of Fulham and those players that we expect obviously come up and obviously start for the club of Arsenal, obviously we are really having something that is really very itchy, and it was all about on what Arsenal took, on how he took the draw of 1-1 with Fulham in December. He said, well, especially that we had a lot of dominancy and quite a lot of chances, both open and set piece wise, but they are very clinical in what they do. And the first chance, especially when we were on top of our game, they managed to score the goal, and then obviously they sit back and reduce the spaces, and it's a team that is well organized. So this is what he's talking about Fulham, that it's a team that is really well organized, that can obviously come up and obviously shock you in a nick of an eye. That is the manager known as Mikel Arteta on what he has to say about Fulham and that draw in there for you. And he was asked on how good Emile Smith-Rowe can be. He said exceptional. I've already told you that this lad is really one of the best players I've gonna hate to see. Minus the injuries that will have to affect his trajectory growth at the side of Arsenal, I think would have gone ahead to be one of the best players in the Premier League and in the midfield. You understand? And he said, I mean, he's got all the attributes to become a top football player, and that consistency, especially with us, he was unable, especially in the periods that he had injuries, but tremendous quality. That's what he said about this guy. And I tell you, it's really very important. And we all know that Fulham comes into this game of football after losing to Crystal Palace. They were knocked out by Crystal Palace. I think it was really a 3-0 loss to Fulham, and they are playing at home. But in the Premier League, the last game they played on the 16th of March, they beat Tottenham Hotspur by 2-0. That is Fulham for you, and they really went ahead obviously with just their win, and they are 8th with 45 points onto the Premier League table, and Arsenal is 2nd. Now, Arteta was asked on if Fulham are more dangerous to play against after their defeat in the FA Cup. He said, well, I don't know. it's always a really tough opposition. A team that is very well coached. They've been together for many years. They have great organization, a lot of individual quality, and very clear identity of how they play, how they want to approach the game, especially against us. So we are going to have to be really good tomorrow to beat them. That's what you're getting in through from the side of Mikel Arteta into the mix. Explain to us how this team of Fulham can be after they've gone ahead to obviously lose out onto that big encounter against Crystal Palace. But one thing I want to let you know is that one thing that plays in the advantage of Arsenal is that these players played over the weekend and Arsenal's players are really fresh. But the other advantage or disadvantage of the club of Arsenal is that the side of Fulham has gone ahead to obviously have at least one game. And you know that they can use that game to obviously master the patterns of the game. You know that very well. So, I tell you this, that Fulham is all set to take on the club of Arsenal. But the other disadvantage for Fulham and an advantage to the club of Arsenal is Fulham lost and their morale is down. Arsenal went into the international break after beating Chelsea by 1-0 and they only registered one injury, and that injury was Ricardo Carafiori. Now, talking of players that are really out of this game of football on the side of Arsenal, Gabriel Jesus, Tomiyasu, Kai Havertz, and Ricardo Carafiori. Those are the four players that are really out of action. They are really out of action and they are not going to be seen anywhere into this encounter as Arsenal takes on the side of Fulham. So, for Fulham, I think they only have two injuries. That is Reece Nelson, who wouldn't have gone ahead to obviously find himself into this game of football, right? And Harry Wilson is also another one who is really missing in action. Then Kenny Tete is having an injury. And Silva will name a back four that is really very consistent, as we know he has always gone ahead to do. So those are the injuries that are really very, very, very worrying for the side of Fulham. Arsenal has 4 players out and Fulham has 3 players out. But will this stop us to enjoy the game? I think no. We'll obviously enjoy this game to the fullest. That is it. So, Arsenal has to win this game. If you've been following up how the Premier League has obviously gone ahead to go, then you know how important this game of football is. Because today, Arsenal is playing and Liverpool is not playing. That is it. Arsenal is playing today and they're hosting Fulham, and Liverpool is not playing, and Liverpool is playing tomorrow. That means that if Arsenal goes ahead to win the game of football today, that means that Arsenal would have gone ahead to reduce the points that the side of Liverpool is really ahead of it. And we all know to it that Liverpool is 12 points ahead of Arsenal. Not so? And if at all Arsenal wins today, they'll go to 61 points. You understand? When they go to 61 points, obviously, they'll be 9 points behind Liverpool. And that puts Arsenal back into the title race. Though some people don't think that it's possible. It's possible because Liverpool's fixture, they are playing Everton. It's a derby. And we all know how hard it is. You get? And for the side of Liverpool, and for that, and their second game over the weekend, they're obviously going to be playing. Arsenal is going to be playing today, and I think if at all I'm Arsenal, and I want Marco Silva to bring out his best when he's playing Liverpool over the weekend, they have to beat him because he lost in the FA Cup. He loses to Arsenal. I don't think that he'll obviously allow to lose 3 games in a row. And when you look at how Liverpool was really looking when they played into the Champions League, and how they lost into the EFL Cup final against Newcastle, I think they are not yet up to that. And we wait to see how they'll obviously look after the international break, because we all know to it that after after the international break, the manager has to obviously instill these skills back into these people's heads. So we are waiting to see how things obviously going to be happening for the side of Liverpool, but Arsenal really have a chance to obviously close down onto the side of Liverpool a little bit. You understand? And if they win that game of football, Liverpool come into the game of football tomorrow against Everton. We're really having a lot of pressure onto themselves. With 9 games to go, a lot can happen, provided Arsenal continues to win its games. And Arsenal also has to play Liverpool. So I tell you, this trophy might really take some long time to obviously be given out. Why? Liverpool is playing Arsenal on the 10th of May, and there will be 1, 2, 3. Those are 9 points left, meaning that if Arsenal has a difference of 9 points with Liverpool by the time they play one another, because the side of Liverpool has some hectic fixtures. They have Tottenham, they have Chelsea, they have Arsenal. Those fixtures are really very consecutive. They are going to be coming in thick and fast. Then they also have Brighton into the mix. So all what Arsenal has to do is to win its games, and thank God they've gone ahead obviously get Bukayo Saka back, and he will help them do a lot that they wouldn't have gone ahead to do into that final third, because we know how effective Bukayo Saka has been for the club of Arsenal. Why are people screaming Bukayo Saka? His numbers have been crazy, and before he really went ahead obviously get an injury, Saka had registered 10 Premier League assists, meaning that he was really very helpful into that creative section of Arsenal with 5 goals in there. So it shows you how important he was for the club of Arsenal in as far as creativity was really concerned. So he comes back today as confirmed by the manager, and we're going to see what he's obviously going to be bringing onto the table. Now let's get into the probable starting 11 for the club of Arsenal and see what the manager of Arsenal really is going to do. The system is always a 4-3-3. You know that very well. That is the system that Arsenal deploys in all of the games they've gone ahead to play. And let's get to the pitch and see how everything is obviously going to be panning out. In goal, David Raya, no doubt about him. He's really exceptional, and is one of those goalkeepers that has gone ahead obviously do the needful. You understand? And the last time he was in between the stitches in the Premier League, he kept a clean sheet. And I think he comes into this game of football knowing that keeping another clean sheet is obviously going to be very important to him and to his team of Arsenal. That is the man himself, known as David Raya. Right back, the manager has confirmed that Julian Timber is readily available to play, and obviously he will come in to put in a very huge shift into that beautiful encounter that Arsenal is here to obviously face off. Left back, obviously scoring his first goal on his debut for England, that is Lewis Kelly. He's obviously going to maintain that left back position as a player, and he has gone ahead to put in a very, very, very beautiful shift into the mix. So that is Bukayo Saka for you, and I tell you, he will be that is Lewis Kelly for you, and we're putting in a very huge shift. So that is Bukayo Saka that is Lewis Kelly in there for you. He's obviously going to be coming in through to put in a very beautiful performance that you people will obviously come out and really enjoy. So after that, let's go to the central defenders. You know, Arsenal never changes their centre-back partnership, provided those two are really there. Right-sided centre-back, that is William Saliba, is obviously going to be taking into the mix, and left-sided centre-back is going to be Gabriel Magalhaes to obviously come up and really show up and represent to the fullest. So that is the back 4 of Arsenal, all back 5 you can call it. And that's how we think they're obviously going to be lining up. You can as well tell me your thoughts into the comment section below, like the others are really doing. I'm seeing Emma into the mix. I'm seeing Michael, Ivan to Esime. They are all into the comment section showing me, all giving me their views. So you can go into the live chat and tell me exactly what your thoughts are about this beautiful encounter that Arsenal is taking on tonight. Then, the midfield, obviously there comes Thomas Partey, you know, playing as the CDM for the club of Arsenal, alongside who? Alongside Declan Rice. Rice baby. And Martin Odegaard, the captain, will obviously complement them to obviously complete that 3-man midfield of Arsenal that has gonna hit to do lots of wonders into this season. And we go to the forward 3 in there. Right forward, I think it's gonna be Ethan Nwaneri is obviously going to be coming to play as a right forward. Left forward, I hope it's obviously going to be Gabriel Martinelli in there. And leading the line, I think it's going to be one and only Leandro Trossard. That's how I believe the club of Arsenal is obviously going to be lining up today or tonight. And I don't know what your thoughts are about it, but that's what has obviously going to hit across my head. For Bukayo Saka, as I told you when I did a video that he's back in training, that he cannot play 90 minutes. Whether he starts or doesn't start, but he won't play a full game. But if I'm the manager, Mikel Arteta, I think I play him off the bench. Nwaneri comes on to start, 60 minutes in, get in Bukayo Saka, let him get in 30 minutes, and in the game they're going to be playing against Everton over the weekend, then they'll obviously come up and really, he can come up and obviously start, get some 60 minutes into his legs, and then prepare him for the game of Real Madrid that is going to be played next Tuesday at Emirates. What's that plan? Is it really bad? I think it's a good one, if at all you've been following up. Now, let's go to Fulham and see how Fulham will obviously line up. Fulham will have Leno in goal, Castegane right back, Robinson left back, Anderson and Bassi into the central defense, then Sander Berge into the CDM alongside Lucic and Pereira. Now the front three will have Iwobi, former Arsenal Hell End graduate, then Willian off the left, and then Jimenez to lead the line for the club of Fulham into that hugely exciting affair that will obviously see itself really going into history of how Arsenal obviously have to go on with it. You understand? So that is exactly what you're really having in here onto the Rokani Media Football, and that's really very interesting. Before I get into my prediction and really get into your comment section, you know how I do it. I bring you what Google has to say about this side of Arsenal and Fulham, on the team they're obviously gonna be really facing. Now, let's see the head-to-head stats. 1. Arsenal have never lost in 31 home league games against Fulham, winning 24 and drawing 7. It's the most home games one side has played against another without ever losing in English Football League history. That is it. Then, secondly, Fulham are unbeaten in their last 3 Premier League games against Arsenal. 1 win, 2 draws. Only once having a longer such a run without defeat against the Gunners between May 2011 and November 2012. Thirdly, Arsenal have earned 20 points in the Premier League London derbies this season, more than any side. Fulham, meanwhile, have won 4 league London derby matches this term. Only in 1931 to 1932 and 1947 to 1948 and 2001, all 5 have they won more in a single campaign in their football league history. So it shows you that this is one of the campaigns that these two are really having a very huge goal, and they might obviously find themselves locking horns today. Then fourthly, Arsenal have won all 7 of their Premier League games on April 1st by an aggregate of 25-3, meaning that each and every time they play on Fool's Day, Arsenal comes up and obviously wins those games. No team has a better 100% win record on a specific date in competition history. Chelsea also has 7 out of 7 on December 3rd. So, Arsenal has won almost every game that he has played on the 1st of April. Lastly, Arsenal's Premier League games this season are averaging 23.6 shots per match. Those are 13.9 for 9.7 against, the lowest of any side in the competition this term. Meanwhile, Fulham ranked 4th lowest for this at 24.7, that is 13.7 for 11.0 against. That's what you're getting it from Google. And here I come to obviously, I was not even showing you this on the screen. So here I come in through in peace to obviously tell you my prediction. Arsenal is winning by 2-0 according to me. That's how I believe this game of football is obviously gonna go. But if you feel like it's not really going on as planned, you can go into the comment section and tell me what your thoughts are as I obviously start to read them. My prediction is 2-0 for the club of Arsenal. Now, I head into the comment section. The first person to obviously show up into the comment section was Mubarak Nabongo. He said, Mr. Aradi, good evening, and I'm very thrilled to see Bukayo Saka back on the team. All right? Thank you very much for being thrilled to see that Bukayo Saka is back onto the team. I know very many Arsenal fans are really thrilled and they are on cloud 9 after seeing this guy back. Emma Oriokot, good evening, my brother. It will be narrow. All right, thank you. Sentambo Maron, Bukayo Saka will play that game, bro. Yeah, he's going to play, but whether he starts or comes off the bench, the fact is he's obviously going to stay. Ivan Twesime, good evening, Mr. Aradi. Thanks for your updates. I'm happy to see Bukayo Saka back, even though I'm a United fan. All right, thank you. Michael Francis, good evening, Mr. Rokani. How are you today? I'm Michael Francis, watching up from Kasana from Kampala. Thank you for giving us news. All right. Suleiman says, good afternoon, Aradi. Good afternoon. Inziku Cosmos, thanks, Aradi. I'm a Racha boy. Can Arsenal win the game of today and Real Madrid? Yes, they can. I told you Saka is going to be a very huge influence into the game of Real Madrid, and I've said it and I repeat it next week when I'm obviously bringing you the match preview of Arsenal versus Real Madrid. Then let's go to Sulaiman says Arsenal 3, Fulham 0. All right. Mubarakana Bongo, Mr. Aradi, do you think Andrea can bring Jokeris at Emirates? Obviously, go ahead and really see the story, that the video that I loaded on the video section, guys. It's really heating up and these people are really coming up to sign up everything. Then Inziku Cosmos, greetings to all Arsenal fans and my Maracha people. The way you think can Arsenal win yourself if we win against Real Madrid? Every team right now at this stage can win the Champions League, because it's all about knocking out whoever you face. 4 games, 360 minutes. A team is away from playing a final. So, how do they really look at that? Sulaiman says, already you know how to analyze. I always follow you. From Silarion, thank you. Then Favor Aremo says, definitely Saka's involvement will impact Arsenal's performance. Obviously, it has to. Colin Powell, thanks for your presentation. I really appreciate. Thank you too. Sulaiman says Saka needs to be on bench and bring him the second half. That's what I think. And we don't know what the manager's plan is obviously going to be. Michael Francis, Mr. Rokani, I think Arsenal will win 4-1 tonight. All right. Thank you very much for watching it through. And that's what I had for you in here onto this channel. And keep those comments flowing in, because I know most of you are really going to be watching this video when it's done and dusted and it's live. It's been long since I last came in here live, but just get into your mind that on a daily we are obviously going to be coming here to stream live and obviously have a 1-2 talk with you, because it's really very important to know what your thoughts are about the beautiful game of football. That is my probable starting 11 for Arsenal. David Raya in goal, Julian Timber right back, Lewis Kelly left back, Saliba right-sided centre-back, Gabriel Magalhaes left-sided centre-back, Thomas Partey obviously playing as a central defensive midfielder, Declan Rice box-to-box midfielder, and Martin Odegaard playing as a number 10, all a central attacking midfielder. Ethan Nwaneri obviously playing as a right forward, Martinelli left forward, and Trossard leading the line. I know people are like, why not Mikel Merino in there? I don't believe that he'll start, but with him scoring during the international break, the manager will be like, Let me try to play him to lead the line when Bukayo Saka is back and see how he's obviously going to be performing. And that's why I came up with the decision that these two should play off the bench. If you know, you know. And that is it. So guys, thank you very much for watching through. I sign out for now. See you later. And I think that's it for now. What else haven't I discussed about? I've discussed everything. And see you later. Not so, my mates. I think we are obviously going to be having a very beautiful game. Remember, towards the game, I'll come with the match day live. And that is at 20:45 minutes. I'm going to be live with the match day live. Who starts, who doesn't start, that's going to be the business we're obviously going to be dissecting. And then after the match reaction, we will follow up. Inziku Cosmas says, Mr. Aradi, I wish to meet you. You are the best. Thank you. You will meet me. It's mountains that don't meet, but people do meet. 5 fingers out to everyone watching in through. I'm out. See